I mean, you have the model, and you've always been saying, hey, do what I do it half what I do, you'll make half what I make. And now you've got people that are full-time. The reason they're full-time is because they want your model. They are buying into being you at a base shop RVP level, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, to all the to all the near-term RVPs or people that aspire to do that, I was told, and I was coachable, that, you know, even before RVP, that I was kind of building that story up, that I'd be able to sell to my team and create a standard that they could kind of keep themselves or hold themselves to. So that's really working for me right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be embarrassed about how I went out. I did 50,000. I had 14 licensed directs writing a sale. I had, 75 people in attendance. I had, almost 100 licenses. I had a $65,000 cash flow. I gave up, pretty much, my whole team. Out of the 50, I gave up. Out of the 54 that I did when I went out, I gave up 47. And so it builds belief that you can do all that, and then you can still, I'm doing well. You know what I mean? I'm not doing as well as I think I can, or what I will do in the future. Obviously, we all want to grow, and we all want more. We're never really satisfied, but people think that doing things the right way sometimes is going to hinder them. They wouldn't be reluctant to do the right things if they really thought it would help them. And I'm glad I can be an example that, look, I did what they told me to do, and it worked out for me. Now I can talk about it. And now I have other people that are following those footsteps, and they're successful. So the system really does work if you listen.
Yeah. And by the way, like I've said to you before, there's only two positions when people go full time. They're going to quit, or they're going to become a vice president. Basically, there's only two. And why? Because no one goes back from full time to part time and sticks around. It's extremely rare, because once they shattered their belief, then they're gone. So going full time is a big damn deal. I mean, it's something you really like. Okay, you're in the foxhole with me, and you're going to win. And if you don't, I'm going to make you get a job. And I don't want people to go full time. They have to want and do the things required to go full time. It's not, I'm full time. Hell no, you're not, because I'm not your boss, and I can't make you be motivated, and I can't pound you into doing it. And that's not what I'm here to do. So, but the environment's there. So Samir, that's great. I mean, I appreciate you, man. You've been leading for, certainly, if you look at Samir and where his base shop has been, and certainly, like, I don't have all the numbers, I don't remember all for last year, but it started to grow. It's because people started to move inside his base shop, and you see it spread out. There's not just one guy or gal, and you see new people doing it, and you see new full-timers, and you see all these things, and you have examples of money and blah, blah. So you have all these mixes, and now you can start to shuffle the deck and show people we've got success everywhere. Oh, what a great place to be. Okay, Samir, anybody got a question for Samir, any RVPs? Good, thank you, Samir, appreciate it. Let me hit some numbers real quick here on the future RVPs, or not future RVPs. That's fine. I mean, it's a mouthful, but yes. But anyway, end of the day is last 60 days. Now, look, when you hear the numbers, most people, I notice, run from the numbers, and they don't pay attention to the numbers because the numbers make them feel. And they don't show their people the numbers, is what I found for my entire career. They do not show people the numbers. Why? Because they're not on the numbers, or they're embarrassed about the numbers. And that's exactly the reason why you need to show them the numbers. Okay, it's the exact opposite. Mark Younger, Sue Younger used to say, the reason you're saying you can't do something is exactly the reason you must do it. There's a book called The Obstacle is the Way. You've heard me mention it. It's whatever's the obstacle is exactly the direction you need to go, not the opposite direction. And most people avoid that. So the idea is that let's say you're small, you show start somewhere on the numbers, figure out a place that you can say, that's my anchor, we can build around it. So for example, and when you see the numbers, what it tells you is, a lot of people do the numbers and say, well, yeah, but they're numbers, but look at, they'll take their recruiting numbers, for example, and they'll say, which is, to me, is the dumbest thing in the world. They'll take the recruiting numbers and say, that guy or gal did X, but look how much premium they did. That's stupid. I don't care how much premium they did. I care they did the recruits, because I'm better at getting the premium. I need example. So by beating someone who's doing something right, you actually crush your own business. It blows my mind. Now, if they're not recruiting right, there are a lot of recruits in the door and it's not working. You know what, gang? They're going to figure that out because, as Samir just said, you don't make money for recruiting. Recruiting is a precursor to making money. If you don't do the right things with the recruits, you don't make money. But it is a precursor. Without recruiting, you don't get codes. Right? So you got to walk and chew gum here. So under Andrew Akiba, no, I'm sorry, Andrew, Hakees, I'm sorry, Bernadette Palm, she had 52 recruits. Awesome. You know what I say about that? Hell, if she can do 52, you can do 5, right? What is she going to do with those recruits? I don't care because I don't control that. What I control is you getting 5. I guarantee you, I think you'd probably get more of the 10 that we get you than she'll get out of the 52, but let's get the 10 and prove it. That's the problem. So always look at why you want to do something. Negatives never attract. Why you don't want something, why something doesn't work, attracts no one. Now, I'm not Pollyannish. I'm not like, well, just it's all going to be great. It's awesome. I am not that person. But I know that when you put a negative out, it's a negative. And it doesn't attract anybody. Now, you need it to grow, but look, folks, that's something internal. You got to be very careful with that. Show me who's doing something right, and I think I can do it better. There are people kicking my ass on the day I walked in this business on leader sheets. But I realized if they could do that, I could do that. I'll do better at that. I felt, me personally, that I'd work hard at fixing the Swiss cheese, as I say, right? Everybody's business looks like Swiss cheese. There's holes. Everybody's got holes, right? At different levels. But Samir's got holes, but he's at 350 grand. I think you can afford some mustard and bread for your Swiss cheese. You follow me? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, let's go 350. My problem is when you're at 3,500 and you have problems, or even 35,000 and you're frustrated like hell. Okay, that's the place you got to get out of. Especially, obviously, RVP's got hope, but certainly full-time people to have that breakthrough. Someone's not in the business until they're full-time. Listen to me. Their career starts at full-time. Now, after full-time, I can't, and everybody has we used to say like a oven stuffer, when you have an oven stuffer roaster, you put in there and it pops up when it's done. Everybody has a shelf date. And if it's 3 years or 5 years, listen, when somebody goes full-time, there's a shelf date. And at some point, they'll keep showing up and they'll keep doing it, but their belief level has gone way down. And now you're beating on them, training them, manage them. Okay, do what you got to do, breathing life into them every day. I got it. But the longer they're here, the longer the belief level decreases, not increases. So I don't care when you go full-time. Your career starts. I've been in business 5 years. How many times have you been full-time? I've been full-time for 6 months. That's how long you've been in business. Don't give me I don't care about before that. It's when you put it on the line. Art Williams said you got to be 100% committed. That's when 100, and they got to do that, not you. If you force people to go full-time, they're going to quit. And you don't force that. That's an internal mechanism, but they do it because they're driven for the dream. And the dream might not be you. Guys, I very rarely talk about my income, what I got in my life, because most people aren't going to relate to that. I wouldn't relate to that when I was coming into the business. I saw it with Wydell. I'd see him riding his horse. I'd go to Turley's house. But what fired me up the most was my peer group kicking my ass. People next to me kicking my ass. Look, I don't say the precious. Look, I can talk about that. Look, I think we all got a report from Primerica, right? Our 1099s. So Primerica just saying, hey, listen, they paid me $1.7 million last year. 1.7, 100% passive. You understand most people don't relate to that conversation? How good I am, what I've got going on. I don't even talk about that. I'd rather talk about the next people I want to talk about because I want to sell success that's close up. I want people to see, when they hear my success, or Christian talks about his income or whatever, people have larger incomes, or Shaq, or you go to 500 grand, you start to make I can't relate to that. If they can't relate to it, they won't fight for it. That's why what you do is so important. That's why the bigger you are, it's not about what I say, it's about putting people around them that are doing it. Because they believe in those people. They say, damn, once again, I know me. I was so motivated by a peer group kicking my ass. It was like, now, wait a second. Whittle could do that, and it might not, I like to hear it, but I can't kick Whittle's ass. But that guy kicked my ass, that's unacceptable. And so you just gotta be careful with that. I mean, guys, once I go back to being FI, man, I want your net worth to grow like crazy. look, I'll share this with you. I don't share this a lot, but look, I was sitting the other day, my net worth last year went up about $5.5 million. $5.5 million last year. It took me 10, 15 years to get to 5 million. I don't say it to impress you. I'm telling you what we teach here works. I'm telling you, getting FIs, and all of a sudden you can't stop it. It goes beyond you. So I made more money than I ever made. My net worth went up bigger. COVID was a problem, but it wasn't a problem if you understand how money works. Guess who made the most money in COVID? Billionaires and millionaires. Oh, is that fair? I'm just telling you why, because they know how money works. But so the concepts that you learn and teach here are so valuable to you over your life. Getting FI is a big deal. And if someone's not worth fighting for FI, then you know what? I don't know what you fight for. Do I want to help people? Yeah. You know how many times I heard people say, I love helping people. But I look at how many transactions they did last month, and it was one. You ain't helping a whole lot of people. You like the idea of helping people. And I love that. And that's a great spare timer or part-timer. But are you getting FI? Because that's what matters at the end of the day for your family and you down. And it's also attractive to people. So when I say that to you, I don't say that to people I know outside the business, because people don't relate. They don't even care, right? Because it's not their money. And you can always meet people that make 10 million, 15 million, 40. It's always somebody with more. But I'm such the proof, and people like me and other people on this call, and Christian and people that have moved up, look, and I'm such an example of nothing but Primerica, the vehicle and the knowledge changed me. So let's talk about a little bit more. So, when I say that, so when I was just showing you that thing that when Samir was going through that, it says, what is real growth? What is sustainable growth? And what is compounding growth? Real growth, here's where people get confused, if they're even recruiting anybody. And there's two ways. One way to get confused is to think I'm going to train my way to real growth. No, you're not going to train your way to real growth. You're going to train your way to making money. You're going to train your way to surviving. At some point, learning how to do things is important, how to get a check, right? Because if you can't survive, you can't thrive. If you don't know how to make money part-time, you're not going to make money full-time. If you can't make money full-time, you're not going to help people make full-time to be an RVP. And by the way, if you don't have a full-time program in place, you're never going to get good replacements, because you're going to get part-time replacements. Because if there's no program in place to develop full-timers, no one knows how to do it. So therefore, you get part-timers. And part-timers are much harder to explode and grow than full-timers. And it's not just the full-timers, it's full-timers have a tendency to hire people. And when you hire people, you find growth, right? But part-timers are just do we want to make money? Do I want to be FI? Do I want to save money? Of course I do. Because why? My goal is that they become financially independent, whatever that means to them. And I don't judge what that means. It can be whatever it means to them. I don't care. It's just that I know when they click my lights out, I'm in Primerica, you'll be able to become FI. You know who taught me that? Rick Susie. Rick Susie in 1990 wrote a thing on the thing when I flew there saying nothing matters unless you get FI. I said, damn. It was like a lightning bolt to me that I'd never heard that prior to that. Art Williams said save money and stuff like that, which I heard, and you got to put money away. And I always was pretty good at saving a little bit. But when he said that, it changed the trajectory of what I wanted to believe in here and what I could sell every time. I didn't care what the company did. I didn't care what the people did around me. My job is to help folks get FI that have bought into us in a team. So what is real growth? Okay, back to Samir. Perfect lead in, unscripted. Real growth. Real growth is what is real growth, what is sustainable growth, and then ultimately what is compounding growth. It's people with a license that put their name on an application without you being there in any kind of consistency. If you don't have recruits, you can't have the licenses. Recruit to license. That gap, recruit to license. Inside there is where everybody quits, everybody struggles, everybody beats themselves up because they think I recruited them. So I got it. No, you didn't. That's where you make money or learn how to make money or not money, because we're going to recruit most people and they're not going to be here. Most people quit. Duh. Most people quit everything. People are quitting more now than ever. People quit more now than ever in everything. People don't this. I don't know that. I just know that from recruit to license is a death zone. Because if they don't get a license, they can't produce. If they can't produce, they can't make money. If they can't make money, they can't learn how to make money, which means they can't produce, they can't become a, right? I mean, you get it. It's like simple. But what happens in recruit to license? In recruit to license, look, you want to do the right things for people? You need to make sure they're an advocate. You need to make sure they have insurance or securities. So if when they quit, and they will, most people quit, they at least got something that was right, a chance for them to become financially independent. Once again, I go back to mine. This is mine, you do yours. But if I knew that, if they were a client, they at least had a chance to be financially independent. So I had planted the seed in them. They have to grow it. They want to quit. They got to go back to their business. And also in between that is where I'm going to find people that one day want to be part-time and get a license. So unlimited places to go and potential leaders. That's what happens there. And if your expectation of anything else, what's going to happen there, that's a faulty expectation in compounding duplicatable growth. You're setting yourself up for mental failure, and you can't do that. The business beats you up enough. You cannot beat yourself up, especially with things you can't control. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Okay, if you have 3 recruits and no licenses, that's what, let's go to the recruit. I have 10 recruits. Okay, just, you got to keep getting better and filling the gaps. But that's how we build people. Everybody's one has done that, right? So I think part of the business, gang, is not to beat yourself up to the point you're unconscious. The other part of this, you got to beat yourself up a little bit to stay focused, right? So it's a business of contradictions at the full-time RVP level. Part-timers don't have these contradictions because they have a job. They might be frustrated, they might be pissed off, but guess what? They're not counting on this. They're doing this. So people are working with part-timers, they're visiting. We love them. 80% of our people are part-timers. God bless them. But they are visiting you. They're not giving up their full-time occupation to do this, which is brilliant. They don't have to. So be careful who you invest the massive amounts of time with and the massive thinking process with. So GAP, recruits to license. They say when you hit a golf ball, it's 6 inches before they hit the golf ball and the 6 inches after you hit the golf ball that determines how well the golf ball goes. And all pros, many, not all pros, but have a little different swing. Whatever they do to do all this, come around, but the 6 inches before and the 6 inches after is exactly the same of people who can strike a great ball. That's recruit to license. That's what that is. I don't know how you come around on which side, but they get that and they get that going. So, and then only then can you find the reproducers. So guess what that means? If you're not where you want to be, welcome to the club. Great. Here's the good news. You woke up today. Here's the second good news. You didn't wake up in Ukraine. How about that? No matter what your problems are, those people 2 weeks ago, hey, let me tell you what's wrong with it. Shut the hell up, please. Look in the mirror and say, damn, I'm the luckiest guy. We woke up in the country. We're free. We can do it. We got a business. I'm not where I want to be. That pisses me off, Bruce. But you know what? Damn, Bruce. I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying this to me. Please don't tell me what's wrong with Primerica. Please tell me what you're not doing to make yourself better. When you max out the system, then come talk to me. But right now, most of you, I'd say, have not maxed out the system. I believe every single one of you can double your income. Are you kidding me? Every one of you can double your income just on what you know now. So if you can double your income, what the hell you need to know what's not right? And if your people can double your income, see, I sincerely believe this, that the company today, right now, this instant, every one of you can double your income. I think it's hard to double 2 million to 4 million, 1,000,007 to 3.6, maybe 1 million to 2 million. But can you at 100, 200, 20, 30, 220, 350 double? Hell yeah. Because the model's good enough for you to do that. That's what keeps me focused. The minute I don't believe that is the minute I might not be doing as enthusiastic of a Zoom call. But I know that. And people, well, what are you about the future? What do I know about the future? I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. That's the future. So so I can tell you right now. So look, January, February, they're always the toughest. Why? Because it's January, February. If you've been here any amount of years, you know that people are, and coming out of COVID, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, March, no excuses. Now, even if you don't have a breakthrough in March, you better have a wake up in March. Okay. It's that thing, the whole thing about a 9-day plan in January, February is so people are woke up by March. Some people just wake up in March. And so they have a pretty good month. They get back on track. Ooh, I feel good about myself. Everybody gets beat up in February. Are you kidding me? My February numbers suck, no doubt. Welcome to Primerica. The only reason your February numbers wouldn't suck is if you had momentum going into it with new people, new part-timers, new full-timers, and new licenses. Because that's the only way you ever beat momentum. But then you just figure it out. Your goal is not have a 90-day momentum business that you're growing every month. You're adding to the equation, but you have to show people the numbers of what that means. People have to defend it logically. Get excited. Hey, I think Samir said it. It's like this has been a lot of technique, but damn, it's emotional. And when if you're driving technique, you drive emotion out of people. Though without technique, I don't want them running into the with pitchforks. But man, you get a license, you got a gun, let's go. I mean, you have a chance here. Without that, it means nothing. Look, gang, this is not a conversation I'm having just because I'm talking to you. This is how, honestly, I think this is why this has been my thought process for 40 years. In and out, off and on, but it always comes back to the new folks. And so I wish for you that. Now, let me give you an example. So let's talk. Let me give you the example of something else. And we're going to begin to close this out in just a few minutes. But look, you don't have to be perfect, okay? You don't have to be a giant. You just have to show up and get better, and really get better, and open yourself up to knowledge. And the leader sheets tell you everything. You may not like them, but they tell you if someone's kicking ass in this business, you can kick ass. So he said, well, I can't. Let me tell you if someone's kicking ass, you can kick ass. And if you can't get to that, how about your people? You think they deserve to kick ass? I believe so, because my goal is they become financially independent. I can't make them. So let me give you an example of that. Okay. And it's like there are so many heroes in this business, in my business, and hopefully someday in your business, that have kicked butt in this business, and you don't even really know who they are. And their stories are amazing. They give you, I don't know about you, but the reason we need to be around people at some level of life, because I got so much inspiration about people that came from where I came from or worse and kicked my butt. It was the greatest thing in the world for me. That's why by being in the dungeon or the basement, never getting out, you never get around other people that are doing it, and you realize they're just like me. They just did more, and I can do more. And they were more focused. I can be more focused. Let me give you a couple statistics real quick here. And I wrote, okay, in the security side of our business. Look, I'm a big believer in do it all. I remember Shane Rudman years and years and years ago when Shane was cranking. I couldn't find it, but he had the 4 steps. I'm sure Christian probably remembers it. The 4 things that we believe in here. And one of them is we do the right job for people. Okay, 100% of the time. And I've always believed the right job in Primerica is buy term, invest the difference. I don't care whether you do that or not. I'm telling you it's the right job. And I'll tell you this, as I look at the numbers after 40 years, the people that never do securities never have a long range big business. That's what I'm telling you. So does it mean you have to be securities expert? No, but if you're not doing securities, then the challenge is not you're not doing the full job for the client. Number 2 is you're not doing the full job for your full-timers who can make a few bucks until they make. Now, does that mean I'm saying Bruce said, go get my securities license? I don't know. If you haven't got it by now, I don't want to tell you. I'm not telling you. I'm telling you that by the time someone gets to this business, they need to say that there's something awesome about what we do in investments for people. It's the number 1 way to get financially independent if they don't die and their family gets it, or if they don't win in our business. So if you believe in financial independence, dadgummit, how can that not be the case? It doesn't mean you're a securities expert unless you want to be. I never wanted to be, but I wanted to hire a lot of them, right? Because they said, hey, we can hire people better than us. Thank God for Tom DiGirolamo, right? Thank God for Ben Chet, people that are better. Awesome. Lots of them. Howard Lasher, super. So how about this? I pull up a sheet the last 12 months. Okay, the number 1 person in initial accounts are very important if you say I'm doing securities. It's because you're doing securities all the time. Right? It's part of your business model. It's not the model, but it's hey, every time somebody comes across, they get French fries with the number 3 meal, right? I mean, there's a napkin and a straw. It's how we do it here. It's our system. Whether you do it or not, somebody else is. And it's never been better, actually. Forget the market, not the market. It's never been better. So the number 1 person, let me go up. I start at 200. So these are the people that in their base shop, they do 200 securities transactions. Their base. let's see, 1, 2, 3. So starting at 206 is Christian David. What a shocker. Christian has guys licensed in security. He's got people been around a long time. How do Christian keep people around? They're securities license. He believes in doing what's right for people. So 206. Does Christian do the securities? Of course not. Can he? Of course if he wants to, but 206. So every month, pretty much in his business, as many people are getting securities transactions being done as they are being insurance being done. Pretty much. Does Christian train a lot on it? Probably not, but I don't know. He'll tell you. But is it happening? You betcha. So he said, 20, 30 years in the business, still runs a base shop, still has a base shop that's bigger than most of you guys on this call. Why is that happening? Because he has some fundamental beliefs and they've permeated his business. 208, Meek and Milton Peel, fairly new. Meek and Milton started the security side of it. 208 means you're doing what? Roughly 18, 19, 20 a month. That's for the year. See, what I'm saying is it's not who does it in 1 month. It's like, what's your system? Well, I don't have a system, Bruce. We'll start doing 3 or 4. If you do 5 recruits, hey, start it. It's exciting when a few dollars comes in and you feel better about yourself because you're doing the right job. Look, somebody says to me, that Primerica thing, I'd reach right through the front of their face. You know why? Because they had shown no one how to get a mutual fund. You sorry dog. You have never helped anybody get financially independent. That's how I thought about it. Pissed me off. Doesn't mean people can't say stupid stuff, but man, are you kidding me? So 215. Now, Tom DiGirolamo did 22 million the last 12 months. He did 215 accounts. How's that? Because Tommy's been doing it year in and year out, and he's the brand, and people know Tommy, and they come back to him over and over again. And he's at $750,000 by that business. Awesome. It takes somebody who's knowledgeable, sharp, personable, and on it. Awesome. But he's been a long time. Then you got 220, Ken Repa, new kid in the business. Tad's son, 220. Ken did 10 million or 16 million last year. All right, awesome. A lot of ways to win here. Deepak Shaw, 250. Month in, month out. Deepak's always doing it while he does the other things. And Deepak has 2 RVPs that make 100 grand. Okay, great. But that's part of your philosophy. I didn't say you're a securities expert. It's your philosophy. We do what's right for everybody. And when you leave Primerica, you're probably going to quit, but you better quit with a mutual fund. You better quit with some plan that when you walk out this door, you're better off today than you were before you walked in the door. If you're not, then if I tell you don't do it, that's your problem. Man, I want to be on high ground every time. People quit all the time. Just hope they don't quit stupid, which is not learning their own game plan, right? I mean, come on. If you can't do the 5 to 7 year plan, I'm sorry, the 20 to 30 year plan, you're not going to do the 5 to 7 year plan. Come on. If you can't learn how to save money monthly in a PAC and do it and have the discipline, how in the world are you going to get FI here in 5 to 7 by busting your tail and paying a big price so you have the rewards for the rest of your life? You're not. Let's figure it out early, right? You don't head fake Primerica in that way. But the Deepak, so Deepak did a great job. Deepak's income's at 430,000. Look, Deepak's a great, look, we can highlight Deepak. 430 grand, and he comes from where he came from. Man, are you kidding me? 2 RVPs, not a huge base shop, but doing, man, I love it. Why? Because Deepak and his family are FI, closer to more FI. Great. It's a win. Are they where they want to be? Of course not, because none of us are. That's why we're in this business. It's a torturous business. It tortures you at 430. But just, you know what I think? Most people just got to learn to sell it. You got to just sell your model better because you all got a model. And if you sell your model high and hard enough and long enough, your model should attract other people. You're the brand. I understand Primerica, the name, this, I don't give a crap. You're the brand. Because that's all you can control. And if you start to worry about stuff you can't control, you're one miserable mother. Trust me. Anthony Malone.